welcome to the Spiral Up podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Lachelle Weemy, a peak performance coach and business strategist dedicated to helping you see what's possible within you, the blind spots that are holding you back, and the solutions to ensure success and fulfillment without the hustle. I use my secret sauce of metaphysics, brain science, and scripture to work with God to manifest your ideal life and business. If you're ready to create massive forward momentum in your business and bust through the blocks that drag you down, join me on the Spiral Up journey and create the clarity, confidence, and consistency to become the CEO that lives your life by design. It's time to create the sustainable impact, income, and time freedom you desire faster. Now is the time to spiral up. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Spiral Up podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Lachelle Weemy. It is so fun to be here. And today we have a very interesting conversation where I am going to talk to you about somebody that I admire like crazy, Ed Mylett. You guys, how many of you listen to Ed Mylett's podcast? And today, what I want to do is challenge some of the thoughts that he had in an episode that he recorded back in June of 2023 called Achieve the Impossible. Now, I have to just be real honest with you first before I dive into it. The podcast episode is really freaking good. And so you're going to want to go in and check it out anyway. So it's the June 15th episode from 2023. And he talks about how we will never achieve more than what we believe we deserve. And he also talks about how we will never acquire or be someone and somewhere that we don't feel like we belong. And it's so interesting because that whole concept was exactly what I built my Becoming Experience Retreat around. It's all about showing yourself and exposing yourself to a life beyond anything that you thought was possible for you, and allow yourself to acclimate to it and allow yourself to believe that you belong there. And then use that as a catalyst for visualization so that you can continue to practice in your mind what that life feels like, what it smells like, what it tastes like, what it looks like, so that you can literally use that as the momentum to build that life and to allow yourself to build the belief that is possible for you and to build the belief that you belong there. Okay. So I want to just be real, upfront with you that I think it's an amazing podcast episode, but there is a few minutes in the middle of it that I grossly disagreed with. And it was interesting because I learned about this episode. I was a little behind on listening to his show, and we were at the retreat actually. And one of the participants at the retreat, one of my clients, was talking about this episode and how she kind of felt like, oh, Lachelle, this doesn't feel like it's the stuff that you teach. And we started to have a conversation around it because, you guys, my business is titled I Am Life by Design. Now, the I am is that identity piece, because whoever you think you are, whoever you believe you are, is what you're going to achieve. And so everything that I do, we work on that identity shift, right? But the life by design means that we can create a business that gives us a life that we want. We can design our life that allows for us to make the impact in the business that we want. But we have to be super intentional about it. Now, what Ed was talking about in the middle of this episode that got me so fired up was the fact that he does not believe in taking vacations that are more than 1 or 2 days. And in fact, he said, as a 52-year-old man, he can count on less than one hand how many times he has taken a week-long vacation. Now, I was interested to really dive into this because if those of you guys who have been following my journey know that I left my 20-year anesthesia career just over a year ago. And since then, I have been to Mexico 3 times in the last 9 months. I've been to Costa Rica now. I took my family and I went on this beautiful 2-week road trip to Colorado, Northern Arizona, and Utah. My husband took me to Marco Island, Florida for a surprise trip. I freaking love to travel. In fact, one of my core values is freedom. I wanted the freedom to be able to do what I wanted to do. And the thing is, you guys, is that those of you who have been following me also possibly notice that I have been spiraling up this last year like crazy. So no matter the fact that I've been traveling as much as I have, with my family, without my family, all of it has given me the momentum to live my life by design, to be able to grow my business to a point that I am completely in amazement of what God is doing. And I can't wait to see where he's going to take me next. And I think that it's just really interesting because he made a couple of points, and I'm going to dive into what he said, but I also am going to give you a different perspective because I believe that we do not need to hustle for the sake of hustling. I believe that if we are in alignment with where God wants us to go, then we don't have to burn our candle at both ends. We don't have to work 24/7. We can actually get into flow. We can get into alignment with him and watch what he can do. And that's honestly what I want. That's what I want for you guys. So he also mentioned that, his businesses need him and that he comes back to all kinds of problems. And I wanted to just start there because I feel like one of the things that I have routinely shared with my clients and help them to discover is that when you can find people that help you support your vision and to complement you on strengths that you don't have or don't love to do, and allow them to shine and stay in their zone of genius so that you can stay in your own, magic happens. You guys, magic happens. One of my favorite books as of late was something called 10x is easier than 2x. And they talked about how if you can stay in your 20%, the 20% of what you do that makes you 80% of your income, if you can stay in that genius space and you can hire out for everything else, you are going to make faster progress. Now, just because I can build websites, I can do all of my social media marketing, I can write copy, I can do all of the things. This book really helped me to recognize that just because I can doesn't mean I should. Just because I'm good at it doesn't mean that I'm excellent at it. Doesn't mean that that's my zone of genius. That doesn't mean that it gives me energy when I do it. It's just something that I can do, that I'm good at, that I'm resourceful about. But it doesn't necessarily mean that that is like my purpose. That's where I'm supposed to be showing up in the marketplace. And so the first thing that I'm going to say is that when you can find an assistant or assistants that can help you stay in your zone of genius, you don't have to stress out about being gone. You guys, like my assistant right now, Jamie, is a freaking rock star. She is my client experience director because I wanted her to be my hands and my feet, to be able to help give my clients the special touch that they need so that I know that nothing has fallen through the cracks. And Jamie is completely stepping up. She's exceeding my expectations. She's taking things on before I even have to ask her. She's willing to get in there and figure things out. It feels amazing. So I know that while I'm gone, I know that Jamie is taking good care of my clients. I know that she's really, really freaking good at details. I am a big picture thinker. All of the tiny details can exhaust me. Can I do it? Absolutely. Do I want to? Heck no, right? And so even when I think about the Costa Rican trip, those people that were able to join me in Malpise, I mean, you guys, it was freaking amazing. But we did have a little bit of adventure getting there. We flew into San Jose, and then we took a little charter plane from San Jose to Tambor. And then we had a private taxi waiting for us that took us from that little airport to our villa, okay? Jamie was able to organize every one of those last details. I, found the little airport, the concierge from the villa helped us, but Jamie is the one that took it to the next step. She's the one who made sure that everybody had every tiny little detail figured out, that she made sure that they knew everything they needed to. She had everything arranged. She had people that were on standby if they had questions. She was on top of it. So I didn't have to worry about that. When I've been gone on big trips or even little trips, Jamie knows where I'm gone. She knows what to do, and she does it. I've also executed lots of things in my business that relate to systems and procedures and automation. So a lot of the things that I do on my business do not require a lot of extra work because I've already done them ahead of time. And I allow for systems to be able to work on their own. So for example, I have a course that I teach people how to create a year's worth of social media content in a weekend. I don't have to worry about what I'm going to post forever and ever and ever. I have it all figured out. And then I have schedulers that let it go out, right? I have ways to service my clients that is on somewhat of an autopilot with scheduled text messages and scheduled emails and things like that. I utilize something called the Boards app so that I can respond to very frequently asked questions in a keyboard shortcut. It's amazing. I also have a widget on my website that can answer frequently asked questions. And so when you can start to leverage automation, leverage workflows, I have workflows set up inside of my business suite that I use called Simplify. Let me know if you want to explore that, because it's freaking amazing. It's all cybersecure, which is why I did it. But I can set up workflows that if somebody fills out this form, it does all of these other things, including send them text messages if they opt in. I can be super resourceful. I can get them resources and all the things all automatically. So when you have processes and people working for you, you don't have to worry about coming back to a mess. You don't have to worry about everything falling apart because you're not there. But it does take some intention. It does take some strategy in order to get those things set up. It does take some belief in yourself and some courage to hire your first assistant. But I will tell you that, check out my book, Get Out of God's Way. I have an entire chapter on how to essentially duplicate yourself. And that is with an assistant. And so when you can start to give up some of that control, when you can utilize some of the strategies that I teach about how to organize your onboarding process and to be able to get somebody to be able to step up in your place when you need it, is going to give you the freedom to go where you need to go. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is that habits ensure small action to maintain momentum. Oh my goodness. Now, habits ensure small action to maintain momentum. All right, so what do I mean by that? I think that Ed, in his podcast was really relating to the fact that if you are going on these big, long, like week, 2-3 week vacations, you are oftentimes going to impact your momentum. If you're on a roll and you can get into that energy, it's really hard when you go to a screeching halt and then have to keep yourself going again. And I completely get that. It is so easier to move a rolling rock than it is to start from scratch. Like 100% agree with that. So what I want you guys to do is start to recognize that there are ways that you can integrate your business, small tasks that allow you to touch your business every day so that you do not fall into the zero action and then have to build that momentum back up again, right? So what is something that's a non-negotiable that you could do every single day to touch your business that maybe takes 5 minutes, maybe it takes 30 minutes. So you could be on vacation and let's just say you decide that you're going to touch base with 5 of your past clients. And that's just something that you do as a habit. It doesn't matter if you're in Italy. It doesn't matter if you're at home. It's just something that you do. So when you can build habits into that, it allows for you to keep that momentum up so that you do not have to, go to a screeching halt. The same thing works for things like exercise. I have found that if I go out and I am, traveling, if I can even spend 5 minutes doing some push-ups and some sit-ups and some stretches, it doesn't allow for me to completely fall off the wagon. It allows for me to keep some form of momentum in there. So what I want you to do is consider, what are some habits? Maybe it's that you make sure that you post daily on social media. Maybe it's that you have a sequence of you reach out to 2 people and you follow up with 2 people every single day. Maybe it's that you have every single day you commit to creating stories that are going to build credibility and product awareness for your audience, right? Maybe you decide to do a live every day and it doesn't matter where you're coming from. But whatever that is, create a habit so that you don't have to build that momentum back up. All right. But we don't have to think about it from an all or nothing standpoint. It doesn't have to be, I'm going to sit on the beach and completely leave my phone in the hotel, to I'm going to bust it and barely get any sleep. Like, let's start to live some intention. Let's start to live as if we are already living the life that we want. Right? Because how many of us want to live a life that involves more travel, that involves more free time, that we can work from the beach? We can be the beach chair CEO, right? That sounds fine and dandy. But again, if we are looking at it from like a some point stance instead of like, what can I do right now to start living this life? You're going to start to recognize that like you have to do something in order to maintain that beach chair CEO, right? You're going to have to do something. And so finding those small habits and allows you to be able to live as if you were already there now. All right. The next one is hustle implies that you are relying on yourself. Now, here's the deal, guys. I believe wholeheartedly that when we are chasing after money, when we're chasing after titles, when we're chasing after monetary rewards, right? That's what God doesn't want, because we're making that our focus. And we're saying that I need to hustle and I need to work hard. And then when I do that, I earn this and I manifested that. When in reality, God is the one who helps us to manifest. It helps us. Manifestation means to bring to fruition. It means that we can see the proof of what we had believed in before. It's here, right? So we get to work with God together to manifest the life that He has put on our hearts as a desire. And so we have to recognize that He wants us to have all of the things that He has placed on your heart, as long as it is going to benefit the greater good. But He does not want us to rely on ourselves. And if we get caught into this hustle mentality that I have to work harder 24/7, go, 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 it's bringing me back to creating an idol in myself. It's creating an idol in my paycheck. It's creating an idol in the things that I want to buy, instead of recognizing that the impact that He is allowing me to make through this is going to naturally result in the side effect of the abundant life. But I have to make sure that I am not getting stuck into idolizing myself and my own works. I want to be able to work alongside of Him, to get into flow with Him. I want to be able to allow myself to work with God so that I can create these supernatural results and then give Him the glory. Right? Like, how amazing is it that I literally have worked less than I have in my entire life, and I am making a bigger living than I have ever made before, and I am making a bigger impact, and I am happier than I've ever been before. I'm doing things that I never could have dreamed of. And you know why? Because of the supernatural blessings that God has placed upon my life. I'm not taking credit for them. Now, granted, I'm not sitting on my couch and just expecting this all to like show up at my door. I'm working with Him. But allowing myself to get into flow and to do the things that He's asking me to do, and to allow for Him to work with me, helps me to give Him the supernatural credit. And that is so much fun, because everything that I have and everything that I'm doing is because of Him. And if I were again to get stuck into the hustle, it's like I'm just taking it all on myself. And that is not what He wants. He wants us to rely on Him. Now, I think that the other kind of caveat off of that is, when we are stuck in the hustle, when we're stuck in the grind, when we're stuck in the working 24/7, it's really, really easy for us to not be able to discern the Holy Spirit and the Holy Spirit's guidance. And I have learned time and time again that I need to slow the heck down, and I need to be able to quiet myself, quiet my heart, quiet my life enough to be able to listen to where He is leading me. I cannot hear Him if I am consistently running the rat race. But if I slow down and I listen to His guidance and I ask Him what I should do on my to-do list today, and how long I should work and what I should be doing, He can let me accomplish more in 10 minutes than I can accomplish in 10 hours on my own fruition. But I have to slow the heck down enough to be able to listen, and for Him to have His soft, still whispers come into my spirit. Okay. Now here's an example of that. So I was on this 2-week road trip with my family. We drove all the way from Minnesota to Colorado. We hit a national park in Colorado. We hit Durango, took the Silverton train. Like we went on then to Arizona, Lake Powell. We went to Antelope Canyon, then we went out to Utah, Zion, Bryce Canyon, Arches, and then we finished the trip up through Colorado again, like Breckenridge and Grand Junction. Like, it was freaking amazing. Amazing, right? My business didn't slow down. In fact, what happened was, while I was on that trip is when the Lord revealed to me the idea for my signature coaching program, which is called Spiral Up. And the whole process of Spiral Up was inspired by the fact that God allowed me to see not only what I was good at, like what my zone of genius was, which is really to see what's possible in you, to build the belief in yourself and to help you with the follow through, recognizing your blind spots, recognizing solutions to your barriers, and helping you get unstuck so that you can get the butts out of your business, the excuses out, and start to follow in alignment with where God is leading you. Now, I'm really freaking good at that. I can see things other people can't see. And now, while I'm good at the websites and I'm good at the social media and I'm good at the branding, I'm good at all of that stuff. That is not my zone of genius. And God revealed to me that when I can stay there, I can also leverage the fact that I am really freaking good at connecting people. And I have built up a incredible catalog of people that I know, like, and trust from 3.5 years of hosting the Unstuck podcast, from 7+ years of being an entrepreneur, from meeting incredible people from around the world. And now what I've done is I'm bringing in this beautiful tapestry of my zone of genius with the experts from all of the various parts of business and life that people need to keep spiraling up, to have forward momentum, to be able to level up. And it is freaking amazing because I get to watch my clients win because they get help from me, but they also get help from all of the experts that I have in my community. My experts are winning because they are now getting a chance to serve qualified leads that may choose to want to work with them further. It is literally the most amazing thing to watch. God revealed that to me, you guys, on this trip. I was actually slotted to do a live launch on the Tuesday after we got back. We got back on a Saturday. My live launch was scheduled on Tuesday. I was gonna launch something completely different. I had a program at the time called Exit Strategy, and it helped full-time corporate people be able to get their business to a point where they could, quit their jobs in 6 months or less. Now, I still incorporate that stuff in there, but that's not where God was leading me. And it was during this trip, and I had the quiet time in my head. It was the hiking. It was the being in the car and thinking. It was all of the things, the quietness, that I was able to think up this idea, and Spiral Up was born. And I will tell you that I got back on Saturday. On Tuesday, I launched Spiral Up. I literally was launching it, like building the plane as it was flying. And I had a 5-figure launch days after I even made up this program. And it has been massively successful, so much so that I actually rebranded the podcast to incorporate everything that I'm doing inside of that program. Like, that's how big of a deal it was. But I would not have gotten there had I not been honed in and quiet and still and refreshed and rejuvenated in that space. And so give yourself permission to get on the beach if you have to go out for the hikes, to go on those trips, because you'll never know when that energy that you're there will inspire you for the next huge level in your business and in your life. All right? Freaking amazing. The other thing that I wanted to say about this is that when you're on vacation, I find that you find yourself in a different energy space, right? So if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I say often that it's not what you do, it's who you are while you do it. It's the way that you speak. It's the way that you connect with somebody energetically. It's the confidence that you carry in your conversation. I could give you copy and scripts all day long, but if you do not have the passion and the belief behind it, it's going to fall flat. So when I am on these trips, when I am flying to California to speak, when I am, going to Costa Rica to host some badass business babes and teach them what they're capable of in this amazing, amazing next level environment, guess what? I carried myself differently. I gave myself permission to get first class. I carried myself differently because I had freaking earned that. And guess what? The more that you are allowing yourself to stay in that energy of what you want, who you want to be, you are being able to bring your vibration up to a point that you are going to attract more of the same. So I'm going to give you an example. Like, let's just say that I'm in the back of the plane. I'm like, sitting in Spirit Airlines and I have 0 room and I have to pay for everything, and I'm just like crappy about things, right? My energy is going to be lower. My vibration is going to be lower. My electrons are rotating slower, right? I'm not going to be in my best self, but guess what? If I'm on Delta and I'm first class and they just gave me this amazing freaking meal and some champagne to go with it, you don't think that my energy and my vibration my frequency is going to be higher? Guess where the people that are wanting to live that life, guess where the people who are ready to invest in themselves, guess where the people are that want to level up? They're going to be in that same energetic plane. Now, I'm not saying that they're in first class with you yet. They might be. But I will promise you that the people that I have taken care of in my coaching and my consulting that say to me, oh, that's $10,000. Okay, well, where do I pay? versus the people who are like, oh, that's $100. What are you going to give me? There's a difference in energy in that space. And the people that are like, okay, yep, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do this. No excuses. Those are the people that are freaking fun to work with. And those people are in those higher vibrations. So the more that I can put myself into those high vibrations, the more that I can be like, holy crap, this is my life. The more that I can travel the world and meet people that are also living their best life, the more likely I am going to be entangling with them. What do I mean by that? In metaphysics, it means that my electrons that are rotating in my body are entangling with their electrons, and they're literally dancing with each other. That's why the law of attraction works. It's literally just physics. When I am vibrating, when my body and my energy and my atoms in my body are vibrating at a certain frequency because of the emotions and because of the gratitude that I'm in, my electrons are entangling with other people, ideas, solutions that I hadn't thought before, things I'd never seen before that have always been there because I couldn't see them. They weren't in alignment with that frequency. So if you can go on a vacation and you can allow yourself to live and be and enjoy and be in gratitude and love and freedom and all the things that take you to the higher parts of the vibrational scale, guess what? You are going to interact with more of those people. I have met clients, I have met customers, I have met amazing freaking connections with people on airplanes, legit, like lifelong friend, lifeline partnerships from people that I've met on the airplanes, people that I've met on vacation. Because our energetically aligned conversations took us there. And so you do not have to work from just home in order to be successful. Take the feeling, the energetic plane that you're in when you're living out your dream life and allow it to give yourself the opportunity to connect with people, experiences, solutions, conversations, the wealth frequency that is going to get you to where you want to go. Leverage that. It is not a bad thing. The last thing that I want to say is that passion sparks conversations with strangers. And so if I love what I'm doing, if I love what I'm freaking doing, guess what? I'm going to just be like having a casual conversation with somebody on the airplane, in the taxi, about what I do. And guess what? It's who we are while we'll do it. So if I'm like on fire, like, yeah, I just got back from California, I just spoke at this conference, it was freaking amazing. We empower these women. I talked about my book, like it was so fun. Oh, what's your book about? You have a new conversation. Guess what? Now I have a new client. I have literally coached people on a plane when the conversation led that way, because I've leaned into it and I had a great conversation, and then I'm like, do you mind if I give you some coaching around this? And they're always like, oh my God, yes. Why? Because I show up with belief in what I do. I show up with confidence because I love what I do. And so you can grow your business while you're out and about, because you're so passionate about what it is that you do. So going back to my sweet mentor, somebody that I look up to so much, Ed Mylett, man, I loved your freaking podcast. And all of the people that are listening to this one need to go back and listen to it, because it's everything that my Becoming Experience Retreat is built around. And I love, love, love everything that you had to say, except for the middle part about not taking vacation. I believe with my heart that we have to live with intention, that we have to allow ourselves to get out of the hustle culture, that we have to learn to lean on God, to trust him a little bit. And it doesn't mean that I'm halting everything I'm doing. It means that I'm energetically more likely to converse with people from a good energy space. I'm going to meet the right people. I am going to maintain habits that are going to maintain that momentum in some way, shape, or form. I am going to be able to get myself into a space where I can hear God, because I haven't been, because I've been working too dang hard, right? And I'm going to empower the people that I've hired to step up and prove to themselves what they're capable of. And together we can build this amazing business of impact and income, and their life is better because they've helped my clients be better. Live your life by design, friends. Live your life by design with intention. Now, if any of you guys want to know how you can live your life by design, if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, like I need more of this, I want you to go to iam-lifebydesign.com/breakthrough and apply for a conversation with me so that I can get a sense of who you are, what's holding you back, and give you some solutions right there within a 30-minute call. I do not want you to stay stuck, friends. Let's do this together. Bye, everybody.